Hey, it's Alexi, and in this video I will be building this 19-inch 6U rack for my collection of 90s romplers. Now, we will be traveling back in time a few days to when I started building this, and I will walk you through the process. I'm not going to show that much building because I don't want to subject my camera to all that dust and everything, so I'll just be talking a lot about this project. Now, this thing weighs around 7,000 kilograms or around 15 million of your American pounds. So I'm just gonna put this thing away and let's get on with it. Okay, I think I hurt my back. Okay, so here are the materials for this project. I have two of these pine wood boards here. This I've already used part of for another project for my Eurorack case, and here's a brand new one, so I have enough material. It's maybe around 25 euros for the wood for this project, or maybe 20 euros. Then we have these rack strips here. So I have two of these 6U strips for the front of the rack case, where I mount all the synthesizers and the plate here. And then we have these 3U rack strips for the back, where I will be mounting this power strip. So I can get this on the back. I can just reach in the back and flip it on and off. It should work okay. And basically I have these steel corner things to reinforce the structure a little bit. I'm going to be gluing the pieces of the board together in the corners, so I will be using these to make it just a little bit stronger. And then we have these rubber feet. I had these on my old Eurorack case, so I'll be reusing these for this one. It's very handy, maybe a couple of euros. Oh, these were maybe a few euros. And then we have this rack strip with these D-type mountings for connectors, where I'll be bringing the XLR outs from the mixer onto the front of the rack, as well as MIDI in on the front of the rack. And of course these blanking plates for this, so it'll look a little cleaner. Now I'll only be using 3 of these holes here, so I will still have 5 extra for whatever I may want to do in the future. I'm thinking I could probably bring the USB from the power strip into, maybe you can see this, the USB connectors here. Maybe I can bring at least one of them to the front of the rack with some kind of a connector here, just for like USB power. And then of course we have these mounting hardware. I have a bunch of nuts and bolts and other mounting hardware as well for this project. And there's this strap for the top of the rack, just to make it easier to move it around. Now, so a quick estimation on the cost here. Maybe let's say 20 euro for the wood, 15 euro for the rack strips, and a couple of euro for these, couple of euro for these, and what was this, 7 euro maybe? Well, it come to less than 50 euro, I think. So 20, 35, yeah, maybe 45, 50 euro for the mandatory bits for the 19-inch rack. And then we have these. This is not exactly mandatory, you can power it however you like, but I like having power in the rack. It'll be just cleaner. And oh, that's about it. I'll be cutting this one in half and then taking whatever I need for the bottom and top from the new board here. And I'm gonna get to work. Okay, it's day 2 of our project and we have ourselves a box. Now this is open on 2 sides, of course, and it could have been a little bit cleaner. You can see slight, what do you call this here? But I will be sanding this and cleaning it up a bit anyway, so it'll look a little bit nicer. I'll roll the edges to make it look a little more finished. And then I was thinking maybe this wooden surface here looks a little bit out of place. So I'm thinking about actually painting this black. Because at first I was thinking that this would basically match my Eurorack case, but then I thought that this will be getting all this black hardware in here. So we'll get like these black strips here and all black, basically all black synthesizers and mixers and everything, and then it'll just look a little bit weird maybe. So I thought, yeah, I have extra furniture paint lying around, so I will maybe just paint this black. It will also basically hide a bunch of these less than great looking bits here. But that's about it. It's glued together here. The joints are glued. I gave it a few blasts from the nail gun on the bottom. You can't see that because it's the bottom. And I figured that would be good enough for the bottom because there's not any weight on the bottom part here. All the weight is on these and of course on the top when I lift it by the strap. But then I put these metal corner thingies here to give it a bit of extra strength, although the glue joint should be plenty strong. But I never trust anything I actually make, so better safe than sorry. So maybe I will give this a good coat of paint. I might check to see how all the hardware looks in here before I do that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, it's day 3 of the project and the rack is basically finished. So it's a fully functional rack. I decided not to paint this black, despite what I was saying before, because you should never judge these things before you're actually further along. So when I gave this a good sanding, it started to look a lot better. Let me just move that out of the way. So it's actually looking pretty decent right now. Sort of minimalistic, nice pine look. So I still might give it a finish, you know, one of those see-through, what do you call this, varnish or something, just to have like a protected surface. But right now it's fine like this, and I think it actually looks pretty good. So what we have left here is to do the wiring for the sockets here, so I can bring my XLRs on there. So we have these D-type connectors I showed before. What I'm doing is I'm going to make use of these cheap XLR cables, and what I can do here is I can just desolder these and then connect them to those sockets and plug the other end into the mixer and into here. So then I will basically have the outputs from the mixer on the front here. Now the MIDI one is a little bit more difficult maybe. I have some MIDI cables I can sacrifice for this, but it's I've never wired a MIDI jack, so we'll see how this goes. This is five pins here. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'll have to do some reading up on this. Basically, once this is done, the rack will be finished. I have the power on the back here. I wonder if you can see this. It's quite dark, maybe not, but there's a rack power strip here, and we can go in here and just do that, and we have power. Okay, I'll get to soldering. I'll see you later. Okay, I've been doing some work on day 3, and I think I can get this finished today. I did the wiring here, so we have the connectors on this panel here. See if I can get this in the shot. So we have XLR outs on here and MIDI out here. So all that's left is to put all the synthesizers in and do the wiring. We need power. So now you can probably see the power better, but I will be plugging power mostly on the right here because the Proteus is will be on the top here, and it has more empty space on the right here. I shouldn't have any issues with space here, but it's always good to be careful with that. So, and I'll show you, I actually have power. I can just go from the back here and turn this on, and we get a red light there. And I checked that the MIDI is working, so I plugged my Oxy one into the MIDI in here, and I was getting power on the Quadra Thru. So basically the MIDI will be going through the Quadra Thru into all the synthesizers. And of course this will be plugged into the mixer. So I'll try to get some footage of actually putting all the gear in this rack. But I'm actually really happy with how it seems to have turned out. Though the soldering wasn't as bad as I feared. I don't like soldering. I've done quite a lot of soldering, but I'm not terribly good at it. And I always sort of, if I don't do it for like 6 months, then I sort of remember that it was terrible. And it's not. But there's all the gear again. I'll try to get some footage of putting this together. There'll be quite a lot of poking around the back with the wiring and everything. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, we'll start to put this thing together. And we will start with the mixer. So grab this MX822 ART, and we'll actually take the XLR cables first, and let's see, left. So I need to actually plug these in like this. So I remain out. Okay. Put this in here. I try to be careful with my gear. Always. We need to get at least one screw in before we can relax a little bit. You can see this, yes. Because I have to hold this mixer up a bit because there's no support underneath. So just one here be enough to hold it for a while. And okay, like this. I think I said in one of the previous videos I shot for this project that I got this ART mixer because it's the same one I have in my main setup, so it's basically, I like the mixer, I like how it sounds, I like the features, can't complain, and this also functions as a backup for my main mixer, or the mixer in my main setup. So why not have one here as well? So I'll put this in 4 screws like this. I have to actually start plugging in the power pretty much immediately. Actually, I'll probably plug the power cables into this. So we need 2 of these basic ICE power, one for the mixer, one for the Proteus, and then we need one of these. There's more like I think an old school power cable for the JV-1080, and then the Wavestation has a fixed power cable, which I absolutely do not like. So I try to go in order. So this is for the JV-1080, and this one is for the mixer. Plug this into the first one here. Oops. The rubber feet don't exactly keep it in place all that well. This is for the mixer, and we'll try to get it so that it's not in the way all the time. Which way is that? It's like this. Oh. So now that the rack is not yet full, I can just grope around in the back here and have things plugged in. And we can like check to see if this works. Turn on the power, turn this on, and we get power. Whatever, you can see this on the camera. Okay, that's the mixer, and I have to turn this around and make all the connections or the audio connections. Okay, the next one, actually I have these in the wrong order. There's the Proteus. There's the Wavestation, which is heavy. Ooh. And here is the JV-1080, the beauty. This was my first, like this old school 90's rompler. I got this, I think it was a little more than a year ago. I was supposed to be buying the Proteus 2000 that I actually ended up buying, but it was really hard to get a hold of the guy who was selling the Proteus. So I was sending him messages in several places because he had it for sale in a few places. And I was like, yes, I am dead serious about buying it. And he just would not respond. So I sort of felt like, okay, I need to get my fix. So I found this for sale. And I went for this one first. So this is in decent condition. It has 3 expansions. Now it had 2 expansions when I bought it. It had the World expansion and the Asia expansion, which both have really awesome sounds. Then we have to see that these are actually aligned, at least somehow. I'll leave these a little bit loose for now, like this. Try to get these centered. So yeah, I got the JV-1080, had a few expansions, and then I also got the vocal expansion because it had absolutely gorgeous choir sounds. Some of the best choirs I've heard. I think we can actually make it any better. So leave this here. So it's expanded. There's still room for one more expansion, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to buy any more expansions. I might. I've been thinking about the one that you can actually upload sounds to using Wi-Fi. There's this. I don't know what you call that. All right, but it's this ROM card that you can customize. And that's something I might be looking into at some point. It's really would be quite nice to be able to do a bit of customization. Honestly, I need to first start using these synths more, because I rarely use these. Because these have not been racked or anything, so it's been a lot of trouble just to grab a loose synth from the cupboard and plug everything in and all that, so I haven't really bothered. So now that I'm building this rack, I'm hoping that I will actually use these synths a lot more. So the JV-1080, absolutely beautiful sounding synthesizer. The only issue with this one is that some of the buttons are a little bit sticky. So if something is sticking, you need to go up or down and wiggle them around, and then they'll free up for a while. So I wonder if I could just somehow clean them to get them working. But it sounds absolutely beautiful. And it's a gorgeous looking synthesizer, very colorful. It has some color and all that, so it's a very beautiful look. And a lot of these nostalgic sounds from the 90s. And then there's the Wavestation, which is the latest purchase. Actually, I probably need to plug in a power cable for the Proteus before I do this, because it will be difficult to get a cable in here if I don't do this now. Okay. And the Wavestation. Okay. Now this is actually funny. I bought this locally. Okay, I dented my rack already. Doesn't matter. I bought this locally for 150 euro. It's in decent shape. All the buttons work. Everything works perfectly. Sounds absolutely amazing. And well, it smells like my late grandpa's apartment. He used to smoke indoors, so this has definitely spent some time in a smoker's place. You can probably see the transformer through the vents there. It's looking very yellow. So I opened this up, and it was not very clean on the inside. I think I may have to turn the rack around to actually get this to plug in. But yeah, another absolutely legendary 90s rompler. Definitely worth the money. Actually quite cheap, in my opinion. From 150 for this. Just gorgeous sounds. Can't complain. Only thing is it's missing the joystick. So what I've done is I have a MIDI merge box, which I use to merge the MIDI from my keyboard and the MIDI from my Wavestation, which has a joystick. So I can output the joystick from the Wavestation and use it to control the Wavestation. It's a little bit of extra trouble, and I'm kind of hoping to find some kind of a sensible solution to that as well. But I love these card slots here. Both have data cards and PCM cards. So PCM data here, PCM card here, program data here, data card here. So yeah, just very old school. And I don't have any cards, but it would be fun to try one. But I'm not going to pay for a card, so I don't really see the point. But this is the, okay, there's the Wavestation. I'm not sure if the Wavestation itself was used for video games that much, but it was certainly inspired the Donkey Kong Country composer. What was his name? I forget. He's a fantastic composer, aquatic ambience and everything. So brilliant composer, seriously. And this has all of these gorgeous pads and all these sort of ambient sounds and a lot of other sounds as well. And hey, this is almost done. Wow. Then there's the crown jewel, in my opinion, the Proteus 2000. This is the latest rompler here. Probably one of the last like true romplers to come out. What can I say? I got this from the dude I was trying hard to contact. I finally got him to reply to a message. I said, like, I am very, very serious about buying this, and I will pay exactly what you're asking. It was €200, which is not much by my, in my opinion. And he was very adamant that it's 200 plus shipping and no less. So I was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So he wanted to call me and we talked on the phone. I was saying like, yeah, there's like a lot of nostalgic sounds for me, like Metroid Prime and everything. And we got along great on the phone, and then we struck a deal and I was finally able to buy this. And yeah, I got this home a few days later, and then I noticed that this had a little bit of a bent chassis on there, on the part where you open it up. And then I was like, okay, I have to open this up and see what is inside. And on the inside there were 3 ROM cards in addition to the default composer ROM. So this was fully expanded, which was quite a surprise. It's basically, I paid 200, which is something I would have paid for with just the composer ROM, but it had 3 more ROM cards, and one of them is the B3, the Hammond card, which is a good card, but like I don't really care for this Hammond organ sounds. I probably should give it a chance again. I mean, it sounds really good, and there's a lot of these Hammond sounds, but not really a fan. But it had the Protozoa card, which has the Proteus 1, 2, and 3 sounds. So a lot of classic sounds that you know from the 90s, like games and TV and whatever. and then it had the Vintage Keys ROM, which is basically these old school synthesizers, mellotrons, or you know, that kind of stuff. So really nice samples of Oberheims and mellotrons and whatever else. So just gorgeous ROM cards. So I'm really happy with that. I think it would have been worth like, I don't know, 500? At least 500 with the cards, but the guy obviously had no idea what he was selling. So I got lucky. So I paid a little bit extra for the shipping, and he was like, okay, I can refund you these €3. But I was like, oh no, don't bother, it's fine. You can keep the couple of euros. So I'm very happy with that one. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Actually, it looks really good. Wow, I am happy with this. Now I have to flip this over and make all the connections on the back. Let's see. Now I didn't put the handle on here, so I don't know how this is to actually move. It's quite heavy. Probably not something I will be moving around all the time. And it's the front is very heavy. Okay. Right, that's probably several kilograms. Let's see. Okay. Looking good on the back. Now what we needed here was where I actually have to plug the Wavestation in, figure out how I can actually, it's this one. Now if I have to, I can actually just take this out and make the connections and then put it back in. But I'm not going to bother. And I don't know if you're wondering about, because I didn't take any footage of me actually building this, because I didn't want to have my camera in that dusty garage while I was building this, because it's a lot of just taking too much of a risk with my nice camera. So that's why there's no footage of me building this. I think you can use your imagination. I was sewing things and sanding things and whatever, so nothing terribly exciting there. Okay, and this one, actually want to bring this through here, so that makes more sense. And this needs to be like this. Okay, there's just about enough space for this. All right, very nice. Make sure it's actually in there properly. Yes. Okay, that is beautiful. Yeah, everything is as it should be. So now it's just a matter of plugging the audio inputs and outputs and MIDI. So I'm thinking MIDI first. I have these short MIDI cables that I hope will be long enough for this one. So we have this MIDI Solutions Quadra Thru, which is wired straight into the front panel there. Or actually, this cable is wired to the front panel, and that's plugged into the MIDI Solutions Quadra Thru. So we'll have through one going into. Actually, we'll do it like this because the Proteus needs the most. Is the farthest away, so I'll plug into the Proteus. Now the reason I'm not doing this like I don't just plug into one of these, and then from the through into the next one and through into the next one, because I don't want to always have these running. So I will only keep the ones that I'm using actually on, and the others will be off, because I don't want to risk having them, you know, on for too long, because they are getting on in years, and probably the components are not quite what they used to be. I feel like the one that is going into the Proteus is a little bit too short. It's not the end of the world. And this one into the 1080 here. Okay. Now, that's MIDI. So what I have here is I have this like these bundles of cables I made with these cable ties. Nothing too fancy, just basic audio cables. And I'm thinking this one for the Proteus. Now, all of these actually have, unlike synthesizers these days, most synthesizers, these have several outputs. So on the JV you have 3 pairs of stereo outputs. On the Wavestation you have 2 pairs, and on the Proteus you have 3 pairs of stereo outputs. This is insane. These days you are lucky to get 1 pair of stereo outs, even on a multi-timbral synthesizer, so this is like luxury stuff. Now, I could of course basically connect all of these to the mixers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, actually just enough channels on the mixer for these, but I'm not gonna bother yet. I'll see how I get on with this one. Okay, so mix out from the Proteus. So main out, blue is left. Okay. Just about enough space with the power strip there. And I want the Proteus actually on channel, I'm not going to use channel 1. I'm going to do the same, have the same logic as I have on the other setup, that I'm starting from channel 8. So Proteus is going into channel 8 and blue is left. So channel 8, left and right. And there we go. Okay, I got something sticky on my hand, and that's actually what do you call that stuff from the tree? Sap. Smells nice, but probably don't want this all over my synthesizers. Okay, and then we have another one, and we'll do the same logic. Channel 7 will be Wavestation, and blue is left. Like this. Okay, perfect. And into the Wavestation. Output 1. This actually has output 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is left, 2 is right, and that's it. Perfect. And then we have the JV-1080, which will be going to channel 6. Channel 6. So start with the left one, like that, and mix out. Try to make these so that they kind of fold into the inside of the rack. So mix out left, like that, and then we have mix out right. Okay. And that is it. We have audio and MIDI wired. I'm looking fairly clean here. I could basically probably stand to fix this here somehow, but it's probably fine. And the next thing I'll do is I will flip this around, and then we will see if everything turns on and whether anything is actually smoking. Okay. Yeah, this is very heavy. Because I was thinking like I would actually just carry this to my main setup whenever I felt like I wanted to do something with these romplers. But now I'm actually realizing that this is just way too heavy to be moving around all the time. But it's gorgeous, beautiful. Okay, everything is off, power is off, and then we'll see whether things turn on. Turn on the power, and first off, the mixer. It's perfect. Then the JV-1080. Yes, perfect. Loads up Symphonique. User 001. I wonder if you can see that on there. It's a slightly duller screen. Okay, then the Wavestation. Gorgeous. And Proteus. All right. Everything is working perfectly. So now I just need to test audio and MIDI and see how everything is functioning. Okay, I tested this and everything is working perfectly. We have audio coming out of the mixer into the XLR outputs here, and from there into my audio interface here, and it's working beautifully. And it's very handy to have these on the front here. You don't have to go poking around the back. And then we have MIDI coming from the Oxy one here, and the Oxy is it's powering the Quadra Thru, so we're getting power over MIDI cable for the Quadra Thru, which is distributing MIDI to all of the synthesizers here. And of course the mixer is working perfectly. I tested the headphone output, works okay, or as it should. And not much else to say here. Let's check out a few sounds here. This is the JV-1080 with the vocal expansion. Beautiful choir. And of course we can set the balance here. Sounds gorgeous. And then we have the Wavestation here. Absolutely classic. I don't really like these stuff like Ski Jam and Pharaoh's Jig. It's a very cheesy. Hey, they are a product of their time. And there are much better presets on here, like what do we have here? Kilimanjaro. It's gorgeous, evolving textures. And you can imagine this thing coming out. When was it? 1990s or even in the 80s? Can't remember. But this thing blowing minds, crazy stuff. And of course then we have the Proteus 2000, and I have chosen this gorgeous sound effects patch here. This should be familiar to anyone who's played Metroid Prime. This is from the, what is it, Phase On or Corruption, something like that. The Proteus is full of these sort of absolutely stunning ambience kind of sound effects things. There's Bat Bells, which is also from the actual, that's a user one. Here's the actual one. That's much louder. Turn down the, actually use the mixer here. This is also used in the same track. So crazy stuff. What else do we have here? Okay. Now the Proteus is absolutely the best one, at least when it comes to the user interface, because you can browse the presets by the ROM, by the preset number, the bank, and then the style. So we can just have like organ here and B3 overdrive. This is probably pretty loud. Try this. And just go for something like keys. You can clavinet here. Yeah. So all in all, very nice rack. I'm very happy with how this turned out, but this is far, far heavier than I ever thought that it would be. This is so heavy that actually I have trouble lifting the front here. And I'm surprised that my desk then I can actually handle this. So that was kind of a surprise. But yeah, gorgeous rack, but I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to put this now. So who knows, it will live somewhere, and I will just come here and bask in the gorgeous nostalgia on offer here. Now for the future, I'm thinking when I have the time and the energy, I might bring the FX send on the mixer to the front here. So there's a stereo FX send and return on here. So I would get like TRS sockets for these and have the send and return on 2 of these, and then I still have a few left. Now, other ideas I have is the power strip has USB outs, so I could basically get those. There are these USB sockets for these. They all have like USB B to USB A, so they take USB B and convert that to USB A. But I wish there was something like USB A to USB A or something, but if all I can get is B, then that's what I have to get. I would like to bring the USB power to the front here, so I could basically plug in my, let's say, my Oxy, or maybe another sort of USB powered keyboard or something to the front there, so I'd have everything accessible here. So that would take like 1 or 2, depending how many USB outputs I want here, and then have 1 more left for something. So really nice project for anyone who's curious about building their own studio furniture and stuff like this. I absolutely recommend just going for it. It's not super difficult. I mean, things I build are maybe they're not perfect, but they are just fine and they look good, and there's this kind of satisfaction you get from building your own stuff. And it just makes it feel a little bit more special. And basically this was maybe 50 euro for the materials and then several hours of work, but who's counting? My time is worthless anyway. So let's say 50 euro for the rack. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon, maybe showing these synthesizers more in depth.